attempting to answer the question, if God didn't create you, who did? This is actually a pretty common question that I come across quite a bit in a debate group that I'm on Facebook, Atheist versus Theist. You can also check me out. I'm a moderator on Atheist Planet. We got like 11,000 members. And I'm also a moderator on Atheist Social Network, which is a Facebook-like group, but you don't have those pesky Facebook jail rules, and you can actually speak out against Islam. And not be, jailed for that, or be called Islamophobic, or, well, you still get called Islamophobic, but, I am afraid of Islam. Sharia law is fucking horrible. But, back to, the topic at hand. So, the question of, if God didn't create me, who did, is really quite simple, but that's not typically the question that theists are asking. They're actually asking about abiogenesis, because if you answer the question, who created me? My parents had sex and sometime later I popped out. It becomes, well, who created your parents? Well, their parents. And who created their parents? Well, their parents. And so on and so forth until you get to the first protocell that experienced mitosis and off-ran evolution with that first copying error, So then it comes down to, how did life begin? So that's why I said it kind of always boils down to abiogenesis. Now, I'm personally a fan of RNA theory to some degree. I think there are a few problems with the notion of RNA theory, but from my basic understanding, because we have run computer simulations on this subject before, what happened is, for like 4 billion years, as the Earth began to cool, because our sun is a third generation star, which means there has been 2 other stars that have been around this area that have gone supernova and exploded and created all this stardust and helium and hydrogen and the building blocks of life. So there's all these elements that are created in a nuclear fusion type core, which our sun has, and our sun produces radiation. So for 4 billion years, as the Earth began to cool from a hot lava ball into a crusty thing, and then the water cycle happened, you have radiation also raining down from the sun, because our atmosphere hasn't formed yet because we have no plants. And minerals broke down inside water, because water is very good at that. It's also very good a mixing agent. So it's very destructive, and it's very good at mixing things. So it destroys rocks and minerals, and it mixes things, and there's thermal vents, and there's heating, and then there's dry periods where the water dries out, and then radiation from the sun happens, and this creates complex protein chains that eventually form RNA. And RNA then acquires a chemical that allows it to be self-replicating. And some people kind of get pissy about the whole self-replicating thing when it comes to RNA, because it is a separate chemical that was eventually acquired or mutated or something like that. But RNA eventually was able to replicate itself, and there was a little copying error through this replication process. And that little bit of change, because nature's never perfect, that little bit of change eventually led to the formation of DNA. And DNA is the building blocks of life. Once you have DNA, you have life. Okay? So then, of course, life arose. And that's just my basic understanding of how life evolved on this planet. Now, there's no way to prove this yet, but again, there's been computer simulations run, so no God required, as far as I'm able to tell. If you have, evidence for a supernatural creator, I'm open to hear it. That hopefully has answered that question of abiogenesis and evolution. If you didn't quite get the evolution part, it's that little minute change, that little copying error, that mutation that allows evolution to occur, and evolution via natural selection is the best explanation for the diversity of life on this planet, as far as I'm concerned, and have been shown to be, demonstrable. So, fossil records, that's just a bonus. The real truth is in the DNA. It's in genetics. So that's it for tonight, guys. Bye-bye.